What's up, everybody? It's Dane and Tyler from SpearheadTrainingSolutions, and we just figured we'd get out a little review of my custom carry 365. Believe it or not, there's more than meets the eye. So here we have my custom P365. I double XL macro, baby Viper. I don't really know what to call it yet, but it's got a lot done to it. I have the Icarus Precision lower receiver on there. I have a Shalotech slide. I believe it's called the Sentinel. So it's a double XL length. It has the 3.7-inch barrel instead of the 3.1 with the compensator, or integral comp.
Approved.
We have the TLR7 sub and the Hollow 7 507K. I'm going to replace it with a EPS carry and the M-Carbo trigger, and let's ghost that trigger. Taking this out to a shooting event with Tyler and Ghost, and it shoots like a dream. The barrel was supposed to come ported, but they forgot to do that and said they would do that in a later time. So I still have to get that done, but besides that, I've been carrying this for what, a couple months now?
Yeah.
In this configuration, and I couldn't be happier with it. Shoots flat, looks great, presents really well, and it feels like an extension of my body.
I have the stock P365 as well. Same light, TLR7 sub, same dot too. So mine's like exactly the same without the main customizations to the gun. Man, I love mostly everything, like 99% about this. It's weird because the macro grip is always really thin, and it's really too thin for a lot of people when it comes to like getting that firing grip, you know what I mean? Especially people with big hands. I don't necessarily have big hands, but I have long fingers and I guess like medium-sized palms. So sometimes like I would get too much trigger finger in there with the normal grip, and these little swells right here really kind of mitigate some of that. So I really enjoy that, especially the ledges. I'm not necessarily a kind of guy who uses the ledges to, you know, the old theory of actively driving the gun down as I'm shooting fast, but it just gives me a reference point to come back to every time to be consistent with the draw. Whereas like here, it's like the only reference point you have is the takedown lever, right? But my thumb's gonna go past that anyways, and then you just have this little area of plastic on the frame, but it's like your thumb slides right off and doesn't usually, when I'm building a grip, I usually don't fit that super well. So this ledge right here is pretty nice. The only downside I would say is the ledge is a little too flared out for me. So I wish it was just maybe recessed a little bit, just because with my fingers, like again, I have long fingers. When I'm coming down from the ledge and coming onto the trigger, sometimes my finger gets caught, and sometimes if I'm pulling trigger fast, it just will rub up on that little ledge in that little corner right there. But you know, that's a super minor thing. Like that's really not a big deal. It's just maybe something I also have to get used to, because I probably only shot maybe like 40 rounds through it since he's had in this configuration. But that's like my only really gripe with it. Honestly, everything else is super nice. I love the undercuts on this frame. This frame is just awesome. Like the undercuts are perfect.
For sure.
Has knurling underneath the undercut. Undercut right here where it doesn't have knurling, which is perfect. If it had knurling right under here where my firing grip is, that would kind of rub after a lot of shooting, right?
It's really aggressive too. I noticed that when I first got it, like my hands had to get used to it.
Yeah.
Because it was almost sharp to a point. But
yeah. But I love that, honestly. Like I think the stock texture on the frame is actually pretty good that comes from SIG, and especially on the macro. And you know, this is we're talking polymer frame versus aluminum, right?
Yeah, aluminum.
So obviously it's not really gonna have as much give, and it's gonna be sharper, but because it's metal. But honestly, it just digs in your hand perfect. It doesn't have a lot of. That's what helps like kind of keep the gun flat. So yeah, I honestly really like that too. And I'm a big fan of more aggressive grip textures anyway. So
yeah, one thing I really noticed too is the difference in the integrated comps is this one. I don't know what they changed about it, but it's a single port instead of a double. So you can see right there. This one was way more concussive. It felt like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like comparable to an AR comp, but like the difference is the concussive force difference from this to this is most definitely noticeable, and the muzzle flip was most definitely noticeable even before I put the DPM guide rod in.
So comp works better on that, but it's a little more concussion as a trade-off.
So Hayden shot it and at our local gun range, and I noticed a huge difference in the concussion from the stock macro to the Shalotech slide. And huge shout out to Shalotech again for putting out this slide and really customizing it for me, because they don't do this style of port anymore on the slide. It's like a 3-port design. I'm not sure what they call it. I got in contact with Matthew from Shalotech, and he made sure that what I wanted was done. Besides the porting, that was, it's a non-issue. It is what it is. It happens. Not a big deal. The customer service with them is great. I would highly recommend Shalotech. They're the original designers of this slide, not FDesWorks. I have no ties to Shalotech whatsoever. I just went into a group and talked to him, and he gave me his phone number. And I bought the slide with my own money. It wasn't sent to me. I bought the slide actually and the barrel. So the barrel is from Shalotech as well. It's fluted.
I like that cut.
Oh, the chamfer, yeah.
Yeah, that
butler cut.
Yeah, I like that cut that is, reminiscent on the original, like, the Combat Master style Glocks.
Viper.
Huh?
Well, the Pit Viper. That's why I like it so much, is because it has that.
Well, originally it was Taryn Butler did the on his Combat Master.
I didn't know that. Oh,
cuts.
that's why it's called a butler cut.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Wow, the more you know.
Yeah, so originally I think Taryn made that popular when he did his Combat Master cuts on all of his Glocks, or specifically maybe it was the Glock 34 or the Glock 17L, and like he had that slant. I love that look. I don't know what it is, but. So
for holster, before I had the Four Brothers one in the last video, the EDC video, but I upgraded to a Tier 1 Concealed Axis Elite in Ghost Recon, or Recon Ghost pattern, so it's clear. Yeah, whatever. Copyright. Again, shout out to Tier 1 Concealed. No affiliation. I buy all my products from them. I pay for them. We're too little to be known by them or recognized by them But yeah, great holster. Disappears on me. Fits perfect. A little too perfect.
So I would say out of all these customizations you could do, I think if you're going to prioritize one, obviously the frame is the frame was more money than, or is the slide more
equal?
Yeah. Okay, so you have this expense, then the bottom expense, and then obviously you have the trigger expense, which is, aside from the light and the dot. I would say if you're going to prioritize, the trigger is money. I mean, the M Carbo, man, this trigger, it's not that it's bad, but man, I just don't like a lot of SIG triggers. I hate how the break feels. The break feels like, man, how can I describe the break? So this, right? That break is just, like when you have glass, like you ever play that game, little icebreaker game where it's like an ice wall and a little hammer and you're just like knocking the cubes out, and it's just like boop, boop, and it just breaks.
Yeah. You're at the wall, and it's a crisp break.
This, man, it has a little bit of creep, but like it has like a roll through break, and man, that just feels like you're fisting a tiger, and like you don't know when it's gonna get there finally, and man, it's such a, and when you're shooting fast, and it's just like you're just kind of hammering through it. It's almost weird because it makes the reset not feel consistent too, because of its its break feels inconsistent. Maybe it could be like the over travel that the stock trigger has too, but it's like click, click, not like click, click. You know what I mean? I tell you, a fist in a tiger, man. It's just that's the biggest thing. Like if you don't want to do any of these upgrades,
then don't.
Money, then don't. But
the P365 X Macro is a fantastic firearm on its own. I'm just pretentious, and I like shiny, pretty, custom things, and I that's what came of it. This is a fantastic carry option with the compensator or without, if you want to go with the tac ops option. If you want to go Gucci, this is what it looks like, you know. I actually saw a really nice custom build with a Mischief machine lower and a Zev full length slide. It was really nice. But this is the one that I like the most. It's super comfortable, fits in my hand like a glove, and I shoot it really well. And Tyler is now John Wick. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video, guys. It does a whole lot for us and gets us in the algorithm. We're gonna have a ton more content coming out. Rifle reviews, classes.
Rifle drills, pistol drills, just to work on dry fire stuff, you know.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff to give you guys, you know, you don't have to take a class from us for us to give you some tips or anything like that, you know. We're always gonna do a mix of, you know, showing you some products, showing you some stuff that we like to run, showing you some stuff that we like to do in terms of drills and training and all that. We're gonna give you a big conglomerate of different
Stuff
and
and stuff.
Just to, you know, really work on, you know, really build you up as a shooter, whether it's just to simply build up your skills with just one gun or build up your collection of guns and being great with all those guns.
Or, in my case, buying skill.